playwright is nothing without his audience. He is just one of the audience who happens to know how to speak. Do you know who said this quote? For some, it's a household name. For others, they only know because Marilyn Monroe married him. If you guessed Arthur Miller, then you're right. Have you ever wondered about this inspirational writer who's won Tony Awards on many different occasions, who won an Oliver, an Obie, a John F. Kennedy Lifetime Award, and even the Pulitzer Prize? Well, I'm going to tell you about Arthur Miller's existence in this speech. First, I'm going to go over his early life, his middle life, and then finally the last stage of his life. Do you know what happened in 1915? That's when Arthur Miller was born. For some of you, you only know this time because that was about the same time of the Depression. According to PBS's article written about Miller called None Without Sin in 2006, this was one of the hardest times during Miller's life. His their family lost their business and had to move to Manhattan. And his father was having a hard time, so his mother had to pick up work at the factory. He graduated from Abraham Lincoln High School and obtained many jobs so he could start saving up for college. This is when he soon enrolled into the University of Michigan, first majoring in journalism, then, big guess, majored into English. His first playwright was horrible. It was called The Man with All the Luck. Well, it was about a salesman who was not happy with all his successes. Stupid, right? Well, his next play was phenomenal. It was called Death of a Salesman. It was about a businessman who lost everything and decided that he would kill himself so his family could have his insurance money. Touching, right? Well, it was translated into many different languages, as well as seen all around the world. He got the Pulitzer Prize for this. It is one of his critically acclaimed works. He's written many other works as well, though, including but not limited to The Crucible, The Prize, The American Clock, Finishing the Picture. The rest of his writes are right here. Well, he was married 3 times. Whew. First marriage was married to Mary Slattery in 1940. His second marriage was to the glamorous Miss Marilyn Monroe in 1956. His final marriage was to a photographer named Inga Mortha in 1962. Well, during his marriage with Miss Monroe, he was confronted by the House Committee on Un-American Acts. During this McCarthy era, he was basically interrogated for communist actions of himself and other playwriters. Well, he was released of all his charges, and that's when his rambunctious marriage to Miss Marilyn Monroe ended. Well, he's really known for his understanding of hard American workers, and that's what makes him such a success. Whenever he wanted to write a nice tragedy, well, according to the National Endowment of the Humanities biography written about Arthur Miller by Rachel Gavin, he would refer back to the Greeks, especially Sophocles, for inspiration. He had many successes and many failures, of course. He also has won many awards, and this is what makes him such an inspirational writer to many. During the 1960s and the 1970s, that's when he mostly wrote about the Holocaust. And as well, he turned into more of the light comedy near the end. That's when his career went down. Well, during 1991, that's when his career really started picking up again. During this time, you may know these plays. He written The Ride Down Mount Morgan, as well as The Last Yankee. That's when he focused his work back to the hard American working principle of success and failure. Well, according to PBS's article, this is when most of his works resurfaced upon the stage again. Miller's understanding for hard-working Americans, as well as success and failure, and the underlying principle and morals that he puts into all his plays, is what made him such a big success. He, even at 85 years old, was still active in the theater. He died in 2005, unfortunately, only 7 years ago. I just informed you about one of the most inspirational writers in the 20th century, Arthur Miller. Now you'll be able to deeply connect with one of his plays, movies, or even novels next time you see or read one. I will now conclude this speech the same way I brought it to you, in a quote by Arthur Miller. It reads, "I'm at the end of my life. Absurd and appalling as this may seem, the serious New York theater has died in my lifetime." Thank you.